What's going on YouTube? Cap24 coming back with another video for the gun bunch weak formation scheme that we've been doing all week for the West Coast playbook. Today's video we're going to be looking at the play called Z Spot, and we're going to show you what we like about this that's a little bit different from what you see mostly in the community. There's a special route here that gets often overlooked, and we want to make sure that we bring it to light and show you how you can use it as a really nice part of your scheme. So let's go take a look at it. So the route that I was referring to is this X route, okay? When you put this X route on a smart route, it goes and gets really, really deep. It looks like from the play art that it only gets to about the 15-yard distance, where it looks like the 45-yard line. But in actuality, that X goes all the way to the 40-yard line. It's kind of a hidden 5 yards from the play art, and you're able to get a 20-yard curl out of this play. So what I'm going to show you here is 3 different ways to beat cover 3 depending on what you're getting out of your opponent. And what we're going to do is we're going to block our running back, put the RB on a drag and the B on a fade. Now what I'm going to do is just go ahead and get cover 3 queued up. And the main thing that most people do on this play, the mainstream cover 3 beater, is the right side of the field. All you need is that A and the B over the top, and you're going to be able to get them in the seam when you go against traditional cover 3s. So I'm going to show you that first, just to make sure that we have that as part of our setup, that if we see that they're not in a traditional, if they are in a traditional cover 3, we're going to be able to bomb them in the seam. So typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to step up in the pocket. You're going to see how he's wide open in the seam. Just rack catch it, and you got yourself an easy score. So that's against those players that are in traditional cover 3s. However, because of this setup and how popular that is in the Madden community, that's why people have gone to this inverted cover 3 when it comes to putting their outside corners in deep halves, okay? Now, because of that, they're going to cover the seam with the outside players from a compressed set. This play design is going to give you some really nice options when it comes to being able to beat this coverage with other players. So we're going to do the same thing with the B and the A, just to make sure that if they're not in that coverage, we're going to bomb them. And then we're going to do that RB on the drag. Now this setup right here is what I like when we're going against hard flats, okay? The reason why is the hard flat is going to pull down on the RB, and we're going to have a nice throw to this X receiver. I'm going to show you what I prefer against cloud flats next, and then I'm going to give you an additional way to use this, okay? So here we go. You're going to see that this player on the left-hand side is going to get all the way to the 40-yard line when we throw this ball, and you're going to have a nice, easy catch. You want to low pass this ball, okay? You want to make sure you low pass it. That way, that guy will shield his defender. And you're going to see here that when we low pass this, he's going to basically box him out, shield his defender, and catch this ball right at that 40-yard line, making it a 20-yard curl. You're going to see how easy this is against the cover 3, and you're going to be able to attack it. So you throw it here, and you're going to be able to go and get a nice, easy catch. Now, let's show you the second way to run this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put them in cloud flats. Now, with cloud flats, if you were to do this first setup, you're going to notice that that player is going to play a lot closer to that X receiver, and he's going to make you throw it to the RB. Don't try to force it to the X receiver because he can jump it. Now, with this setup, you're going to see that it's going to be a lot easier. All we're going to do is take this RB, and we're going to put him on a zig, okay? Then we're going to motion him to the left, but we want to hike it while he's still motioning. The reason why is he's going to take an outside release. If he doesn't take an outside release, he usually can get caught up in your defensive line, and you want to make sure that he's got the free release as much as possible. So watch how this works. See how I've got cover 3, and I'm just going to put them in inverted coverage just so you can see the difference as far as those DBs. We're going to move this guy over, and we're going to hike it right now. See how it goes outside, inside, then back? And see how we're going to be able to get that one corner to move to the outside. The reason why is zigs are going to be a little bit more shallow than a out route. So you can see here, when we move this guy over, he's going to go out, and then he's going to go in. And when he does this, see how that guy jumps him right away. He jumps him right there. And that's going to give us a lot more room than an out route would or any other type of route, to where we're going to have that same throw down as far as a low pass, catch that ball again right at that 40-yard line for a 20-yard gain. Now, the thing is with this is if they don't go ahead and when we do these play designs, I'm going to show you the first one first. If they are not on the right cornerback right here, right? the right linebacker. Typically speaking, if they pass up the B and the A combination to the right, it's going to take their whole user to the left-hand side, right? So typically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read my defender, my opponent, and say, who does he usually like to cover? If he's using this guy, these plays work really, really well. If this guy right here is their user, then you're kind of throwing it into where he can go ahead and cut this off, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give you a third design here in case they use this player, okay? And what we want to do is we want to force them to have to think a little bit more, okay? So this third setup is, what we're going to do is we're going to put this B on a drag, RB on a streak, smart route that X, and what you're going to see here is it's going to look like this. Now we're going to motion the A over to the left, and we're going to motion hike him. The reason why we do this is with other gun bunch weak type of setups, there's a lot of ways that people like to use the corner routes, turn them into post, and have the combination of using drag routes. And what that does to a user, it makes them freeze, and it makes them have to play underneath and over the top coverage when it comes to they know the drag's coming or they know that the post is coming. Well, we want that to play in our advantage because when we move this player over, you're going to see that we're going to have a good opportunity to get that player to jump a receiver, and we're going to be able to hit the X. So we're going to hike it right over here, and now we're trying to get that user to go ahead and follow him while we still throw that low pass. So all that stuff is basically just a decoy, okay? So what I'm trying to show you is that depending on what your user does, you're going to want to use your route combinations to do them. So this route combination right here, the drag, post, and streak combination will definitely not make anybody go to the left side of the screen, especially when they already have a player that's usually either in a hard flat or a cloud flat over there. They're going to have to basically make sure that the post is not a route that they can just let go. They have to kind of at least user it to a certain amount of point. So when they do that, you're going to make sure that you have that ability to throw this player open and get that same success. The reason why I showed you all three is because depending on what you're facing is depending on what you're going to have success with. So it's the easy way is the one play touchdown to the right if they're playing traditional cover 3, while also giving yourself a nice outlet to the left. Now, the second one was, okay, if they're still playing on the right linebacker and they're not going ahead and honoring the left side of the field, then you can hit them with that play, when you use the zig. Finally, if they are playing that route a little bit more closely than you want, hit them up with this last setup in order to make sure that you flush them out towards the middle of the field, leaving that route open. So it's just something that, a 3-point type of video just to kind of show you different options, but it is something that you do want to utilize this X route. But as you can see, it is a 20-yard route, not a 15-yard route like the play art indicates, in order to make sure that you get some really nice yards and just put another headache in your opponent. This formation is a headache in itself. If you start adding some different things that they haven't seen before, and now they're trying to figure out, how do I stop that route? How do I stop the C route? How do I stop drags? How do I stop posts? It becomes even more difficult, and that's why we wanted to bring this to you guys. We appreciate you all. Hit that like button for us as we continue our journey all week long in this formation, and we'll catch you on tomorrow's video.